There we go. We should be live. I make that 7 o'clock. You can tell me otherwise, I'm sure. Good evening, Andrew. Good to have you along. Nice, shiny, flipping camera again, doing that stupid, blooming, shaky thing we all hate. I have tried umpteen different ways to fix that, and it is not happening. So we'll just gonna have to put up with it, guys. I'm really sorry. Good evening, Thomas. Good to have you along, as always. So we have a room of, we've got 5 in already, although one of them is me watching over there. So yeah, good evening, guys. Thanks for joining again. Let's see if we can get a bit further this evening. Quick update on where we got to last night. We got all that built, didn't we? And then we got buddy board in. That's when time we had to stop. Good evening, Sean. Thank you for coming back again. I'm just going to put my phone on silent because we do not want disturbing this evening. Let's see where we can manage to get to today. And Derek's in the room. Good evening, Derek. Good to have you along again, mate. So yeah, is that focused or is that does that need a bit of help? I'm sure it'll pull itself into focus eventually. Right, okay, so we're up to, let me just get onto my, so we're on step 37 for anybody that's following along. So how far do you think you will get today? The third gummy bear, lol. Well, the gummy bears have gone, given to the daughter, so we don't do gummy bears. I might get a beer out my fridge. I might have a slurp of beer, or slurps of beer, depending on how many gummy bears there are. That could get a bit messy, though, as we've done before, yeah. So we are going to crack on. So the next part is LCD cable ×1. The cable is included in the LCD Haribo LCD box. Yeah, I've got that. So that's that one. Ding, ding, ding. It says the LCD cable is not symmetrical. Carefully read the instructions for the correct connection. Okay, you know I'm like at reading instructions. How many times did you have to redo it last night? SPC3D, welcome. Thanks for coming back. Up to 10 people in the room already, or 9, as again I'm one of them. So connecting the LCD cable, take the LCD cable and push it through the hole in the Mini Z bottom. I'm doing it again, not saying mini. We know it's mini. We do. We know it's mini. Make sure the tooth on the connector is facing up. So let me look at the picture. So they've got it on that way. So it's that goes through on that, and the tooth is facing up. And they are bringing it through from this side. Like so. You see, I can read instructions. I'm going to move it over there. Just a bit more difficult. I have to move me like that. But then the mic's further away. Hopefully that won't affect things too much. Connect the LCD connector to the board. Mind the orientation of the connector. There is a notch on one side. See the orange circle. So they want that into there. Okay. So that is going to go into there. Yeah. Or not. Like so. Okay. And what do they want us to do next? Warning, from now on, proceed carefully when removing the XZ or XZ axis. The LCD cable is facing down and might get damaged. Ooh. In order to protect the cable, please follow the instructions below. Also, don't try any other orientation because it will, complicate the assembly. Wrap the LCD cable around the box. Don't stretch the cable pulled the second end of the cable inside the Z bottom. So they are going around, over the top, in, and so they're doing sort of that with it, basically, from what I can see. Sort of doing it like that. That's my best effort. Crumbs Thomas, if you're tired already, mate, watching me is only going to make things worse. So we're now on step 40, which is the Z-axis parts preparation. So we need this extrusion. It's almost like I've got this ready. This plate. 2 of those. And some of those, which are on there. So that's all good. You want 1 of them, 3 of them, and 2 of them. So that's all that lot that's there. We're cooking. Dude! Cinnamon friends in the room! Evening, Tom. Thanks very much for dropping in, mate. Do appreciate it. Looking at your stuff on Twitter, this evening when I got in from work. Mighty fine work, mate. Mighty fine work. I'll be talking to you about profiles before you know it. Yes, indeedy. Righto. So we're there. So we're on step 41. So we have extrusion even. We have this plate. This plate goes on like that. So it tells me. And then we put those 2 in. I wonder if we have to do the push down thing again. It doesn't say push it down this time. Interesting. Dude, you've always got me. Got to be said. Got to be said. You've always got me. You've always got me back. And I do appreciate it. Although sometimes I do feel like the only time I ever talk to you is when I want something. But hey, I'm sure you're used to that by now. Great news as well about E3D. Really, really impressed. They clearly think almost as much as you as the rest of us do. But no, that's a great bit of news, that, Tom. That they're using you to print all their demo stuff. That's absolutely fantastic. So we're going to put those into there and tighten that up. So Tom, have you actually done one of these kits, or have yours always come pre-built? Because I'm sure you've got more than one. There is a screw head on the underside of the bottom Z plate, which must be properly seated into the round groove in the Z bottom. Okay, that kind of makes sense. So let me just move this carriage out of the way. Your carriage awaits, madam. Pressure's on to deliver. Yeah, not for you, fella. Walk in a park. Ever evolving. So, what it's basically saying is, I've got to line that up with that hole, do that, and make sure that that is perfectly flat on there, which that appears to be. I'm getting myself tied up in knots now. Absolutely tied up in knots. So, make sure there is no large gap between the Z plate bottom and the plastic part. There's no large gap. No, there is maybe 0.5 mil all the way along there. So that's probably what they want me to be like. So we put 2 M3 by 20s and then one M3 by 12. So the M3 by 20s are going to be those ones, and they are going to go in there. Oops. And there. Just get those sort of put in somehow a bit. I really should have the wow stick out, shouldn't I? This would make this a breeze. And then one of the short ones into there like that. That's good. Just tighten those down. So I'm trying to read over my shoulder. This is not very exciting, is it? So we'll get those nipped up. I'm fairly happy with that. Yeah. That's fine and dandy. Right. That's that like that now. What does it say next? Using the 2.5mm Allen key, insert the screw through the entire part so that the tip of the screw is visible on the other side. Insert the M3 by 40 screw into the hole in the Z bottom. So that's got to be that hole there. So I've got to insert that into there. Oh, I see. So, see what it's saying. But if I do that, ha! And then it sticks out the bottom there. So it's just chuck it in. Don't need an Allen key. Need an Allen key for. I'll tell you what, I know that's fallen out of there and they told me not to, but that's going to hold that screw in the right spot. Move the Y carriage oh, we're off. We're off. We'll bring this little baby back. Right. Move the Y carriage all the way to the left. So that wants to go all the way that way. Place the right M3 NE nut approximately in the middle of the extrusion length. Align the Y axis and Z axis so the protruding screw points exactly at the hole. Join both parts together. Don't tighten the screw fully yet. Right, so we're going to flick. Let me just turn this around. We're going to flick one of those up there out of the way. That one wants to be roughly in the middle. Then we're going to tilt it up and go back to that camera. And we are going to grab hold of that. Oh, now this is where I have to put the cable back over the top. Ah, it's all going to pieces. Right, I'm going to put Allen key into there. I'm going to put that on there. And to do that, hopefully it's going to bite. It's there. Come on, little lady, you bite for me. There we go. So that's on, but not overly tight. I'll just tighten it maybe a little bit more. There you go. I've left some wobble on that. And I've got the ribbon cable the wrong way around. Why didn't anybody tell me I've got the ribbon cable the wrong way around? That's supposed to go underneath, isn't it? And now I can't get... Oh, maybe I can actually. Because I haven't over-tightened it. Day saved. Day saved. Panic over. we will learn to fight again. Brilliant. So that's in the right spot. So done that. Yeah, did that. Yeah, did that. Brilliant. So step 45. Take the second nut and move it all the way to the right using the Allen key and push it in. There's a notch inside. Okay. So what they're saying is that, oh, I see. That's just shot into there like that. Okay, and that's actually slid in beautifully and lined itself up. So that's brilliant. Using the M3x20 screw, and again tighten it just slightly, but ensure you have reached the nut. Don't tighten this screw fully yet. So, how many steps are there? About 4.5 million, Andrew. But don't worry, what else are we going to do? So that gets dropped into there. Like so. And then the Allen key, which is under there, goes in. Come on, bite. I dare you. No, I don't then. Come on. Oh. Oh. That felt like that's a bit then. It has. We're in. Success. So what we've done is that's got into there and grabbed hold of that T-nut. Not allowed to call it a T-nut, am I? So that's those two bits now done up loosely. Step 46 of 4,000. Any upper groove extrusion and slide it under the steel plate. Make sure the hole in the nut matches the hole in the plate. Use the Allen key to align it. Fit both parts together with the M3x12. Don't over tighten it. Mike in the house. Never let the machines win. I'm going to have to just move this over here so I can actually see what I'm doing. So I'm locating that like that. I'm grabbing that. You can't see any of this, can you? That into there. That T-nut's inside. And we're just screwing that in like that. Success! I feel like we've got further tonight in about 20 minutes than we got all of last night. There we go. Aligning the Z-axis assembly. In this step, you will move the entire Z-axis assembly. Avoid pushing, grinding it against the aluminium extrusion, or you might scratch it. Leave a small gap while moving the parts. Right. Okay, rotate the back of the printer towards you. So the back of the printer is towards me, like that. Hold the Y-axis assembly. Move the Z-axis assembly to the back. There is a notch which indicates the correct mutual position for both parts. Okay, so it's that. Again, you can't see. So what we're going to do is we've got to line that notch that's there up with this part here. So we're just going to slide the whole thing back this way. And that's it. It's just bumped on it like that. So that's now correctly positioned. Can't see me. You see me now? Sorry. There's no wonder nobody watches my streams, really, is there? Once the parts are aligned, tighten all the screws in this particular order. First, this top screw. Oh, I see. And that's what that's done is that's got that from being like that and it's pulled it up level. So this bit, which you still can't see, we'll get seasick now. So I've done that one and that's pulled that up like that. So that's gone up give that a little bit more of a nip. I've just realised something. I'm actually watching Top Chat, not live chat, so I could be missing stuff here, which is terrible. Don't want to sign into chat. Don't want to talk to you. I'm talking to you. To do anything else, do I? Alright, so that one first. Concentrate, Matthew. Green. So the next one is this one here. So tighten that one up. Like so. And then finally the red one is there. Which you can't actually see. No, there she is. What else can we watch it out? Do you know? I'm sure I can ban you if I want to, you know. Just saying. Right, it's tight. Guiding the Y-axis motor cable. Okay, so we have to flip the machine over. Like so. Oh, I don't like doing that. And then I've got this here cable here, which they want me to lay over like that. Y-axis motor cable from the extrusion. Guide the Y-axis motor cable through the hole in the Z bottom, pushing the connector through the hole is tight. Be careful not to damage the connector. Do not stretch the cable. Leave a small slack. So it goes through the keyhole now. It goes through there. Oh my god, it is tight, said the actress of the bishop. So that goes through. Oh my goodness. I'm leaving my little yellow thing behind. Come on. It does not want... Ah, there we are. She's through. Right, so that's through there like that. And I've pulled it out like it says. Look, there it is. Ta-da! Step 50. My God, this is going so quickly. Flick it back over. And then they want me to put it in. Comes up between those three. And it's the second one along. You just bring it over here so I'll make sure I get it right. So they want it in that one. And then they want me to do that with the cable. There we go. Do it with that camera. So it's in the second one, which is there. And then I've got to loop the cable up, round and back like that. So it's behind all the other plug sockets so we can get to them later. I'm guessing that's why it's like that. Right, Z-top parts preparation. As if by magic. We have the Z-axis motor. And we have part F1. Glad you about making videos. There's not a lot of UK YouTubers there. I don't think there is, Andrew. And I think we just got a bit demoralised, I think is possibly the best way of describing it. I think we just got a bit... We feel like we've been left behind a little. Which is nobody's fault. And we don't blame anybody. But yeah, I think in the UK we do feel like we are a little bit down the food chain, let's say. Now where is that backlash thingy that I'm supposed to be finding now? trapezoid nut. Where is that going to be? I haven't seen that yet. I mean, that's just my personal opinion, by the way. But yeah, I just think maybe we feel a little bit left in the cold sometimes. Sol's full hold. We're not interested in that at the minute. We're not interested in print head. We're not interested in spare. X-axis and extruder. Okay, so there's a bag somewhere that I haven't got ready. Where is this? Is it in the box with the motors? With the motors, the is it in the motor kit box? It is. It's in the motor kit box. Why didn't anybody tell me? That's what we were looking for, which was still in a motor box. I should look a little bit harder, shouldn't I? Oh my god, that ugly face is back. Yeah, the thing is, I think the best thing to do is just give up trying to be as good as anybody else. Give up trying to be the same as everybody else, and just be yourself. If anybody watches my stream, that's fine. There's 10 people watching at the moment, which is, on the scale of things, is fairly crappy. Because it's actually 9 people, because I'm watching myself. But that's 9 people who have clearly got nothing better to do than watch a buffoon try and build a printer. But that's great. That's 9 people who are willing to give up their evening, afternoon, morning, whatever it is, to watch me. So that's just... it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And every single one of you, tell you, it means a lot, mate. Means a lot. Right, so let's get back to actually doing something, shall we? I've got to stick some square nuts into some holes. I can do that. Square nut into there. Square nut into there. This is where I need my hammer. I'm sure it's going to tell me a specific way of putting them in. I'll just use the flat of the back of the pliers and do that to get them in that far. And then just out with an Allen key. Make sure they're all the way home. That one went a long way. Oh, I see, that hole is there, so that one's got to go all the way down there as well, yeah. There we go. Yeah, that's lined up. And that's lined up, so that's good. What was I doing then? I was doing those, wasn't I? So I'm reading the chat at the same time, and I know it's not the easiest thing to do. Right, so now place the Z-axis motor like in the picture. So, like in the picture. Grab hold of that. Chuck it on. Like that. That looks right, doesn't it? So Sean's only watching me because his TV transmitter's on fire. You know, again, I do wonder why I bother. So what am I looking for now? I'm looking for M3 by 12s. That's those ones, isn't it? The little ones. And they go into there. You know what? I'm actually going to get that started before we start, because the tolerances on that mean that they're not just dropping straight in. That one is, but that one's just needs a bit of help. So we'll spin that one in. and I'll just spin it in until I can just feel the screw coming through the bottom. Like that. And like that. And then we'll put it back on. And then now that should locate, which it does. I was going to call you something then, Sean. But I'm sure you've heard it before. So that's those two nipped up. So there we go. That's that done like that. Double check the orientation of the parts, you know, like we did yesterday. That's like that. That goes along, that hole is out there. That says F1 on it. Yeah. And that is coming out of there. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And then I've got to chuck that on. Oh. Chuck that on. There. Oh, don't cross thread. Doesn't help anybody. So it wants screwing down 2/3 of the way. Good Lord. Talks amongst yourselves. Am I allowed to drink yet? I know it's not gummy bear time, but it's getting a bit warm in here with all these lights on. Right, I reckon that's about 2/3, give or take. So now we're looking for the big Z-axis smooth rods, which are still in here. Oh, do you know, getting this cap off. Don't know what it looks like on the screen, but it's not going. They don't want to come off, I tell you. 12 people watching. My goodness. Like Christmas. Oh, and don't forget this bit. Down here. That bit. Put it on that one. No. There. That bit there. That's the most important bit, because that will keep me coming back. Or, if you prefer, if you click on that, or go to that, and pay me not to come back. Either way, works for me. 2 big bearings. 2 big rods, no chain off ready. We'll pop the cap back on. Like so. Okay, so we've got those. We want, oh, now then. 2 of the fat stubbies, yeah. And 4 of the bigger ones, whatever they are. M3B20s, M5B16. So they're the M5B16s, they're the M3B20s. So yes, we've got those. We've got the bearings in the pack there. I guess we're going to have to do the grease injecting again. Whoa. Oh no, they do not need lubricating. Interesting. They don't need lubricating. Okay. So we've got to push the rods into the hairs. Rod hole, hole rod, rod hole. Ha ha ha. Is that supposed to go further in there, no? That feels like that should go a lot lower down. Push both rods in the way into the body. In case you find it difficult to insert the smooth rods, you can slightly loosen the screws on the Z-plate bottom and tighten it again after insertion. Do not forget to tighten them after insertion. So I think it means these. Oh, you can't see, can you? Sorry, guys. I think it means these three. Loosen those off slightly so it actually loosens up that, so I can drop those into there, because at the moment they're not playing. So we're going to do exactly what it says, and we're just going to loosen those three off, just like that. Which hopefully is. Oh wait, there's one, and there's two, and we'll tighten those back up before we forget. Oh, you stop talking, everybody. Is it that exciting? Really? Okay, so those are in. Bandabby dozy. Look at the Z bottom from below. Oh God, I have to turn it over now. And make sure that both smooth rods are fully inserted all the way down and touching the bottom. Right, I'll let you tell me. Are they all the way down and touching the bottom? Yes, indeed they are. So they are both all the way down and touching the bottom. Oh, like a crushy grape. Some early units may have a narrower version of the inspection holes. This isn't an early unit. Secure smooth rods with 4 M3 by 20 screws. So we are going to put 4 of these into those 4 holes there. We should have the music from Vision On going on in the background while we're doing this. Or the gallery, should I say. But we won't do that because we'll get a copyright strike. Do you know, I read that as homemade kitchen coma then. Oh, Sean! Stop it, mate. Stop it. You'll break the telly. How big is the telly? Hey, how big is the telly? Somebody sent me a picture once of them streaming it on the telly and the kids watching it. Who was that? Who did that? Richard. So it was. That doesn't appear to be perfect. Oh, that's not perfectly lined up, isn't that? Not in the bottom. We're going to go in. And we're going to give her a little bit of persuasion. That's better. Fancy streaming me on the television. Well, we're coming to take you away, Sean, I tell you, mate. Now, am I allowed to tighten these all the way up? Doesn't say not to. So anybody that's following along, we are on step 56. And that one doesn't appear to be biting either, or is it? No, that one's not biting either, so we're going to have to... Oh. It's wobble vision. Wobble, wobble vision. TV and phone. Some people are just mad. Okay, so we've got those all tightened up. So that's clearly giving the rods a nip. There we go. Marvellous. So we're now on to step 56, those of you that are following at home, which is installing the Z-axis bearings. Turn the Z-assembly rear facing me. Yes, oh no, I've got the front facing me. Rear facing me. Cable's going to go in the way. Right, da-da-da-da-da. Carefully put the bearings on the Z-axis rods and slide them down. Does that mean I just drop them on? Not said wipe them off or anything. It's just said pop them on. I say the tolerances between there and there are tight. And that isn't sitting all the way to the bottom. Because of that bolt. So they clearly don't go all the way to the bottom. In fact, it shows it on the picture. Marvellous. Slide the bearings to the upper edge of the smooth rods and hold them by hand. So you told me to slide them all the way down, and now you're telling me to slide them back up again. With the other hand, position the Z-axis motor so that the trapezoid nut is under the bearings. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Slide the bearings down onto the trapezoid nut. Position the Z-top on the extrusion smooth rods. Then push down. Do not tilt. Do not pass go. Do not collect £200. So, picture 1. Make sure I get this the right way around. It's telling me that way, and then I've got to slide these off. How many hands? Ooh. Hey! Success on a plate for you. Sorry. I think that's that. I think that's right, that. I didn't have to push down that hard either. It just sort of went nicely. Check that the plastic part is seated correctly. It certainly is, because that's nice and flush around the top of the extrusion there. And now screw the Z-top with 2 M5x16R screws. Must be those two. I haven't got that many left. One into there. One into there. See how much more we've got built today. It's truly fantastic. That isn't quite lining up, so that means I've just got to twist the top. There she goes. Homeward bound. So I've got to, now I've got this, I'm going to show you again. C6 time. I've got to wiggle that down there, through there and down there, apparently, and then it's going to go down there and into there. Okay, so we're going to go into there and then into one of those plugs, but I don't know which one yet. Okay, so let you see what I'm doing. Into there, down there. We shall uncoil that. That goes down there, into there. I'm guessing there's a channel strip for this somewhere. And where does it go on the board? It goes into the far end plug. So there's the 4 pots. This, yeah, goes into there. Yeah, I agree with you entirely, Andrew. Because I tend not to do very good cable management if I'm left to my own devices. You really don't want to see the back of the circuit go, because it's cable management. No, it's not my thing. I work on the theory that I'm going to have to take it apart again fairly shortly when I've got something wrong. So yeah, so that's running down there like that into there. That's going to tuck into there somehow, and then I think this is going to sit into there. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh, there it is. Next step. So I've got 2 screws left, and it says I've got to have 2 screws, and I've got that, so that's good. So place the plastic cover on the groove with the cable, align it with the top edge of the extrusion. So they actually want it up at the top. Photo editing. Yeah, as long as you don't edit in a plate of spaghetti, you're all right. So they want that. Now then, come on. That into there. Slide that up so it's butt up there like that. That goes in like that. That's beautiful. That nice snap. And then, coming from the other side, I believe, because I don't think they're going to fit in that way, we have to put these 2 little fellas in. Yes, in there, look. And you can't see that either. Look this way. We have... Oh, my cable's not long enough. This is where we lose the camera. So we're just going to put these up into here, into these 2 holes, and tighten them up. You see, this is why I need, you know, a cameraman, a sound recordist, an editor. What else do I need? Could be quite a long list. So we're spinning that one in, and that's gripped straight away, which is marvellous. Oh my goodness! 3D Gusner, Gussie is in the house. Good evening, my dear friend. So nice to see you. Doing all right, mate. Cheers. Doing all right. You've come in on the right stream, because the first stream was absolutely terrible. Didn't seem to get an awful lot done last night. We're doing a lot better tonight. We seem to be cooking with gas, which is always good. That all feels nice. That's all. They're all, and that is, and yeah, we're looking good there. And guess what? It says jelly babies. Can't call them jelly babies though, can I? You have to call them whatever they're called. I'm going to go under the desk and get my can out, because I deserve a slurp. I'm not sponsored by this beer company. Whoa, that hit the spot. Marvellous. Check. Final look and compare it to the picture. Checked everything. Continue with chapter 3. Well, looks sort of similar. Oh, Gus, it's fine, mate. It's just, you know what I'm like. Nothing ever goes right. You know, too busy talking, not watching what I'm doing, miss bits off, that kind of thing. But we'll get there. It's all good. I mean, the funniest thing was the first bit I did where I unboxed it and I thought it would just be bottle that onto that and you're done. And I opened it and it was full of parts, and I'm kind of like, my God, this isn't what I signed up for. Because I hadn't seen anybody else build the full kit. All I'd ever seen, all the other videos I'd seen was just put the 2 bits together, put those 3 screws in, that one, and that one, and you're done. And I've got all these parts. Never mind, we'll get there. So that's part 2. Now, Andrew, that's not part 2. We've not even been going an hour yet. We're doing really well. Let's not slow down. Let's crack on. Okay, so we're going to need Allen key, pliers, thingy, what's it? And a bag of fittings. Plastic fittings. These, I'm guessing. Oh no, that's the extruder. No, not those ones. Okay. Okay. Oh, I finished part 2 of the build. All right. Okay. No, that's cool. So I'm looking for the Z carriage pieces, which are in here. You see, that's a little bit confusing because that says X-axis and extruder. Okay. But correct me if I'm wrong, those of you that are following the pictures. The first thing I need is in this bag. I think. Maybe. Oh, I don't know that it is. I might have spoken too soon. No, maybe it's not in that bag. So where is the bag? Where is the bag? Am I just being really dumb again? Right, I know you're all probably shouting at me at the minute. Going, what's there, you fool? Nothing left in the box. That's all empty. That's just got 2 motors in it. I cannot see these bits. What's wrong with me? What am I not doing here? There's no bags on the floor. Am I just being stupid? Can somebody point me in the direction of what I'm supposed to be doing here? Am I just being daft? Is it actually in here? Right, what am I looking for? Z carriage front. X carriage, Z carriage rear. Z carriage front. It is in here. So although it doesn't say it on the back, it is in here. But it isn't that. It's that. That is it. It didn't tell me that was it. So I need some more hardware. Which I'm guessing is in this bag. So what we're going to do, we're going to pull the hardware out and use my little tray again. We're going to move that grease out of the way because I don't think I need that. I think that can go over there. I am going to need my spanner though. 19 watching. Oh, you see what you've done, Derek? You said 19 and 1 left. Unless I'm number 19 and there's actually 18 watching, which is fantastic. Smash that thumbs up. Yeah, do that thing. Ding that donger and... Yeah. Welcome to the madhouse. So got that. We've got lots of those, a few of those, and some of those. Okay, so insert square nuts. Square nut into hole. Okay, we can do that. Square nut into hole. Guess it's got to go all the way down there. Still not lined up particularly well. See if we can't. Oh, there we go. Look. And then the littlest hobo Allen key, just to make sure we are lined up. Yep, that's in. Can you actually see what I'm doing? Just too busy looking at me, aren't you? Stop looking at me and look at what I'm doing. For goodness sake. I've put that in there, right? God! Right, now insert 4 M3S nuts in the 4 holes on the end. So 4 into those 4 there. I have a... Well, I don't have a... I had a thought. I've got a work colleague who knows I do 3D printing, hasn't really, as far as I'm aware, hasn't really watched any sort of YouTube stuff on it or anything like that, but just kind of likes the idea. I would love to get him in a room with a 3D printer kit, not necessarily something like this, because I think that would be highly unfair, and actually just video him trying to make it. Just leave him alone with it. I mean, he's quite an intelligent bloke, don't get me wrong. Can't be that intelligent, he works for me, but you know, and just see some more. Just see how easy it is. Can you do me a favour and scan the bag labels so I can post these on my GitHub? Yeah. I don't think I've thrown any of them away yet. The only issue is I don't have a scanner. I can photograph them by all means, but I don't actually have a scanner. Yeah, Gus, the manuals are great. You're absolutely right. But can you imagine? I mean, it's taking me this long to build it. Can you imagine? And don't say less time. Can you imagine how long it will take somebody to build it that isn't, you know, in the loop, as it were? And if you dare say less time, I will slap you. I will. I will. So we've got those in there. We've got those in there. Right, I need 2 more of my rods out, don't I? Because we've got to push those in. So put this blooming cap back on this tube again. And wish I hadn't. Shouldn't do that, should I? Then, Gus, it will be an absolute pleasure, mate. I will do you some photos and I will get those blown over to you, mate. No problem at all. Nothing would give me more pleasure than to help you out. So the final 2 rods. Oh, we've got a telescope. Oh, there's a mouse in it. Come on, reference. TV program. It's a telescope. Oh, there's a mouse in it. Come on. I know the English have an unfair advantage on this one. Right, so. Got to make sure I get the right bit now, haven't I? Right, so that is like that. That is like that. So they just go into there. Again, we're going to have to check that we go all the way in. Oh! Just keep thinking I'm going to stab myself. Sure, it's not telling me to do this, but there we go. That looks better. So carefully slide both smooth rollers all the way into the Z-axis front carriage. Before inserting the smooth rollers, check there are no obstacles. No, there weren't any obstacles. I did check, honest. Look sideways on the Z carriage front through the inspection hole and check that the smooth rod is fully inserted into the plastic part. Inspection hole. You mean that stupid... They call that an inspection hole? That's a slit or a slot. That is not an inspection hole. Any rotor, they're both in the same depth, so that's good. Where are we now then? So we've got that bit in. Yeah, I've just done that. Secure all parts together with 4 M3x12 screws. M3x12s. I think these are all the same size. Oh, there are some slightly longer ones, but there's only one of those. So M3x12s must be these ones. It takes me 6 to 8 hours to build a Mark 3S. It took me 12 hours from my first Mark II. Yeah, it sounds a bit nearer like I was with my Mark 3S. And I spent hours to get the wireframe right afterwards. Not spend time with this, easy to get the perpendicular later. I see. I just remember sitting down to build my Mark III and being woefully unaware of how long it was going to take. Woefully. And mistakes were made, and they were made because I got tired, because I said to myself, I am going to finish this, and I didn't in the end. I got so tired I gave up and went to bed. And the next day, I think I started it on a Saturday and finished it on a Sunday, but the next day I went back and looked over what I'd done and probably deconstructed about an hour's work because I wasn't happy with what I'd done because I'd done it while I was tired. And I learnt that day. I did indeed learn that day that, you know, don't expect to do it all in one go. And if you do get tired, stop. Alright, Gus, I'll get those pictures sorted out for you. There is an email link on my homepage for YouTube. Just hit me up an email so I know where to send them to, mate. And I'll sort that for you as soon as possible. Thanks very much for popping. Thanks very much for popping in. It's appreciated. So we've got those done. So now what a little orange thing. So we're now on to that. And we need a nylock nut, which is in there, but we need a pulley, which is in this back here. That's what that long bolt's for. Ha ha! Oh, lubrication. Bearings, yeah. So basically we're doing the same as we did last time. So permanent marker? Pencil, mate. Pencil. Nobody told me I needed a permanent marker. I didn't read that. Pencil, I'm sure that'll do. Oh, we'll see, won't we? It either will or it won't. It's just so I know where the bearings are, apparently. Okay, so we'll give the bearings a wipe. Longest live build I ever seen was 24 plus hours. A guy asked for help and the community joined to guide him through the process. Love the community. Abso-flipping-lutely. Can't beat the community. Sometimes it's more like caring the community, but there we go. I've got a Stanley blade somewhere. I think it's in... No, I don't know where it is now. I was looking at it today, thinking to myself, I've got a Stanley blade there. I'm going to need that at some point. Sharpies. Yeah, well, you know, it's like Hoovers, isn't it? Instead of vacuum cleaners. Okay, so it's going to ask me to lube them. Yeah, well, we know to lube them because it's the same way we did before, isn't it? You slide it in, you click it. Position the bearing so you can see the 2 rows of balls like in the picture. With a permanent marker on the outer surface of the bearings. Oh, I see. Right, so you just want a line on the top. So let's get them lubed up. Hey, it's time to get lubed up, guys. Richard! Been put in timeout? Oh no, what have you done? Don't look at me, mate. I bet it's that Derek. Bet you it's that Derek. So all you do, when you've cleaned all the crap off, slide it in, rotate it until you feel it like that, and then you squeeze your tube until you see your lube. There we go, and then we just turn it back, carefully slide it out, and basically what we're doing is packing the bearings. So same thing again, slide it all the way down, turn it until you feel the bearings going up against the bits like that, and squeeze the tube to free the lube. And then rotate it a little bit back, pull it out, and that's some well lubed bearings. Got to be said. So now I can already see the 2 rows. They are there and there, so they want to mark across the top. And pencil works absolutely fine. There's no problems with that at all. So bearings there and bearings there, and then a line across the top. Yeah, I can see that perfectly well. Perfectly well. I've got a bit of greasy fingers now, though. So, marked up as per the instructions, if you are following the instructions. So then we've got to take this, put some square nuts in. Okay, we shall push those home. I'm not moving my Kleenex until I've done with my bearings. You never know when I might need to wipe off. Oh, poor Richard, what's going on? We don't need spanners on our channel. Our channel, you see. Because we don't have any idiots on here, because the only idiot on here is me. So we then got to put the lock nut into there. So the age-old way, put the nut onto a bolt. Like so. Press it in like that. Give it a little wiggle. You get it started. Flat side of the pliers. In she pops. Where she stops, nobody knows. Then we've got to chuck the bearing in. That way up. Place the pulley bearing idler into the extender. Line the balls of both parts. Orient, so it doesn't matter. Chuck the screw in. Make sure it'll rotate freely afterwards. So that's your one-off screw. Line it up. Wiggle it through. Spin it in. Nip it up. Oh yes, that's still free running. Sean can't stop singing the young ones. Did actually anybody answer that quote? Or is that you doing it now then, Sean? With the telescope. But that wasn't the young ones. Wasn't that bottom? Oh, I can't remember. No, you're right. It was young ones first. In fact, he might have done it in bottom as well. It's entirely possible he did it in bottom as well. But yes, it certainly was the young ones. So I've got to check for sideways movement, which we have, and the spinny movement, which we have. All good. So insert and slightly tighten 2 M3x12 screws into the end. Okay, so 2 of these into hole. That was fun. And 2. And slightly screw in, it says. So that's slightly screwed in. I haven't banned you, Richard, I promise you. Maybe YouTube banned you after your last video. Such a cad. Right, just sort of a bit screwed in. Don't tighten screws, half the screw head protruding above the surface of the plastic. Only half the screw head. Alright, I've got to go a lot further in than that then. How's the family, Richard? Are they all alright? Are they keeping you sane? Go to about there. Okay, so we've got a bit sort of like that, which is kind of what they want me to do. A little bit of something in there that I would like not to be there. There, that's that gone. That means my rod's going to sit in flat, which is always good. Right, do not tighten the screws completely. Leave half the screw thread out protruding above the surface of the plastic part. Slide one bearing onto each smooth rod. Smooth rods. Smooth rods. One bearing onto each smooth rod. So we'll have one on like that. And we'll have one on like that. Keeping my eye on where my lines are, because I'm good like that. Got them like that, look, you see, so I can see them. And then I have to push the end on that way, like that. So into there. Excuse me while I look really strong. That's all the way home. And that's fairly perpendicular. Yeah, I can work with that. And I've got that the right way up. So, push the mini end all the way on the smooth rods. Before pushing the part on the smooth rods, check there is no obstructions in the holes. I've already done that. Check the correct orientation of the part. Already done that. Screw holes on the mini X end must face up. Yeah, got that the right way around as well. Insert and slightly tighten two M3x12 screws into the X end and we'll completely tighten them later. Okay, well, as long as you remind me, otherwise I will forget. So we have one into there. And we have, you see, greasy fingers now. They're nice. They're going in there like good ones. There we go. Not tightened all the way up. I suppose that's for belt tensioning. I'm sort of realising now. I still see my lines. Yes, I can still see my lines. That is good. Checking the smooth rods. Yep, that's all the way in. Yep, that's all the way in. Carriage parts preparation step 14. I want another drink of my beer. Goodness sake, how much further do I have to get? So we have this black piece here. And then we've got a square nut and a normal nut. So, square nut normal nut goes in there. Again, use a bolt loop. That locates it beautifully like that. And then the square nut, where does the square nut go? Turn it round, turn it up. Oh, I see. Drops into that little slotty holdy bit there. So that. Now there's a blast from the past. Who's that in my room? Who's that in my room? My goodness. Long time no see. He's absolutely right, my friend. I see you started doing some 3D rendering. I have been looking at your videos that you've been putting up recently. Awfully, very, very clever. Awfully, very, very clever. Right, now, concentrate, man. Concentrate. We've got to go. I've got to be that way up, with my lines facing at the front here. And then my black has to come in from the back, as they say. Well, if you're going to build yours with the boys, do not watch my video. Do not watch my build video. Don't do it. Because it'll be appalling. Utterly appalling. So now, concentrate, Matthew. This is an important part. Yes, I've done that. Place the X-axis with the screw head. Yes, I've got that like that. Above the bearings. Okay. And then I'm guessing Should never guess. Always read the instructions. Above the bearings, make sure that the longest side of the part is on the left. Yeah, that's that bit there. Okay. Align the cutouts in the parts against the bearings and push the X carriage onto the bearings. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh. Yeah, they're still lined up. That's good. Again, this is hard work. Trying to do it evenly. There we go. And without breaking the part. And I've managed it. I've managed to do it evenly without breaking the part. I'm coming back full force with SV3D. Slowly but surely, just don't call me Shirley. Hey! We built one a month ago, but not from scratch like you. I don't have the patience for that. Yeah, no, absolutely. I haven't the patience for it either. Have you not noticed? What am I doing? Okay, so we have her on. We are on. I still haven't got to the bit where I can have a beer. So we're going to put that to one side now. We're going to leave it on the pib towel. Just going to move that over there for a second because we need to get another motor out. Because now we're really motoring. How far am I off? Another drink. Oh, not far. Not far. It might be a lot bigger drink this next time now. So, X-axis motor. So dive down here into the box. Which only has 2 motors left. Can I get it wrong first time? And I have. I've got the extruder one. X-axis motor. That's that one. It says X-axis on the bottom. Look. It's like having sheriff written on my anorak. And we need the pulley, which I got on the wrong way around last night. You like my t-shirt? Thank you very much. Yes. There we go. And that is the world according to Matthew. Daddle-daddle-daddle-diddly-dee. Oh, I need my belt. My belt's there. Belt is at the ready. So, same thing again as last time. That like that. That's at a jaunty 45-degree angle. I have to use my spanner again, don't I? This time it goes that way. So it goes on like that. Oh, except that is not lined up with the shaft. That's better. Now, does it tell me to use the spanner? Don't press the pulley against the motor. Leave a gap of 0.7 to 1 mm between both parts. There is mentioned a 2 mm gap in an earlier version of the manual. Please use the current mentioned value. So it doesn't actually tell me how big is a mil. But looking at that, I think we want to be about there. Don't know what you guys think. I would have said that was about a mil. Do you think that's about a mil? I think that's about a mil. So, tighten, turn, tighten. I'm not sure that that's perfectly lined up, so I'm just going to grab the end with the pliers and just that better. The other side of the pond, it is 8:24 precisely. Beep, beep, beep. That's 8:24 in the P of the M. Okay, so those two are both slightly tightened. Now I've got to bang that through there. So that has to be that way up. My cable has to be that way. And then those go onto those. And he thinks that's what it's saying. Bit sort of like that. So that's at that angle. That's yes. 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 M3B12s. Oh, my last two. It must be these then. It might be time for another drink. It might be time for another drink. And we're in. And we're twisting like we did last weekend. Just got to turn that slightly. About there, I reckon. And then it's just turned itself back. Get a grip, damn you. There we go, we've got a grip. Okay. We have the motor fitted. Have a drink now. No. Oh, for goodness sake. When? Belt again. So it wants me that way up. Place the belt as in the picture, like so. Go to picture 2, please. Insert the belt along the entire length of the upper groove of the X carriage. So this is the upper groove, which doesn't go all the way through. It goes to there. So one must place it all the way along. So I don't know whether you can see that. I shall try to do a bit of a closer in. I've got to go right up to there. Oh, oh, oh. Right up to there, you'll see. And that's where it stops, and that's where it wants me to go. So it then runs that way like that. Okay. Where are you going, Richard? Tell me, tell me, tell me. Take the second end of the belt. Guide it around the pulley at the X end and through the hull of the carriage. Okay, so round there. And through the hull. So feed it in. And pull it through. Like so. I guess that's going to go there next. Getting ahead of myself again. Hull. Lovely. Oh, so that's quite good. Eh, what? Hang on. Oh, no. No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I skipped a bit. I nearly got really excited then. Through there and to there. And then I've got to go out of there. Keying them. Family, I seem to remember. Or am I just imagining things? Ah, it's through. You've given birth to a lovely baby. Belt. So I've got that like that. Got that like that. That's through there like that. Wang it into there like that. And push it home with that. You see, I don't forget these things, Rich. I remember you once went before. That'll be a few years ago now, mate. Right, come on, you stupid thing. Take no prisoners, Matthew. There we go. Oh. Slides in like a beauty. They say use the Allen keys, but I'm just using the end of the pliers just to make sure it's properly home-like. But I'll do as I'm told. Are you still doing the Avon, Richard, or has the dreaded C word dealt that a nasty blow? I mean, I would imagine it made life probably busier. There we go. Just making sure that is well and truly home in there, which it is. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's just like... I don't know what it's like. It's just like something. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So that's all in there like that. What's the next thing I have to do? Reward myself. I must reward myself. It's still cold. Cheers, everyone. Oh. Wowzers. I deserved that. So we're not hanging about. Straight on to step 23. The Z Carriage parts preparation. I've got no nuts or bolts left. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I bet it's in that lot. Or am I going to have to go into the spares? Because I've certainly used everything that was on my little plate. It's all gone. Got you leaning on there, so I can't really move you. There's nothing there. Gummy bears in a can. Pretty much. Pretty much. Fast and easy for the following steps are in the extruder package. Extruder package. Extruder package. Extruder package. That's this one. So we're going to grab these bits from here. And we'll put those in my little tray of doom. Like so. Right, you don't need to look at me anymore. I've done my drinking. I wonder if that'll get me demonetized because I'm drinking on a stream. Never thought of that. It's not real alcohol. It's lemonade in a can. Anybody asks? It's lemonade in a can. Please don't demonetize me. I've got little money as it is. So 3 long ones with the sharps on. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 in fact. 4. And 2 of the smaller ones without. So 1, 2. And then what did I want? Nut wise? 2 of those and 1 of those. 1 square. 2 of those. 1, 2. So that's what I need for this bit. Oh my goodness. Peter, 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 Peter! How you doing, buddy? Yeah, all good here, mate. All good here. Keeping the end up for the Brits or something. Decided that everybody'd fallen asleep. And something needed to be done about it. And I'm afraid I got the short straw. So, just like the good old days, I'm talking rubbish. And streaming. And building things badly. Right, I'm putting me nuts in mule. Wow, Peter, Peter, Peter. 16 watching. Oh my giddy aunt. What is going on? You know, I should spend £400 on something more often. Tell you, it might be one stream a year at that price. Yeah, well, Pete, do you know, I just decided that, do you know what? Everybody's been too quiet for too long, and we all sort of drifted away, and we all, you know, lost our mojos a little. I just thought, do you know what? It's time we got something back out there. So this is what I'm doing. Once this is built, I don't quite know what I'll do next. It'll probably be a video on making it work. Who knows? Nobody knows. So we've got that into there like that. That's into there like that. Yeah, so the Mad Englishman's doing live streams again. Okay, turn the... we're on step 25 if anybody is keeping up. Step 25, mounting the x-axis. So... I'll just move that out of the way. It wants it that way around like that. No, it doesn't. It wants it that way around like that. Like so. Wobbly table, wobbly table. It's nothing to do with the printer. The printer's fine. It's the table that's wobbly. Panic not, panic not. It's an absolute pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure. Well, it's a laugh. I'm not quite sure anybody should follow anything I'm doing. But it's a laugh. Anyway, where was I? I was doing this bit, wasn't I? Turn the assembly so that the rear is facing towards you. Place the x-axis on the z-axis bearing and repeat. Oh, this sounds... Oh. X-axis on the... Look at the picture, Matt. Look at the picture. Grab out of that. Grab out of that. Put that from there. Put that onto there. Is that what they mean? I'm sure that's what they mean. How are you supposed to do this? This is ridiculous. I'm not an octopus. And then I've got to put... What? How? But I haven't got the script. Oh, I have to there. Which ones are they? 2 M3x30, so 2 of the long ones. So that... Oh, that on there like that. Drum roll, please. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right there. At least we'll learn how not to do it. I've always said in my videos, let me make the mistake so you don't have to. By God, do I make them. See, wrong Allen key. Right, so I've got to try and... Oh, that's not going to work like that. I really should get the wow stick out. I really should. Cheers, dude. Got 18 watching. Anybody not hit the like button yet? Can you somebody check? And if somebody hasn't hit the like button, find out who it is. That's not long enough. That doesn't appear. It's not. What am I doing wrong here? Have I put the wrong screw in? Because that... Does it have to be tight? Have I not got it tight enough? Is that the problem? Oh, cheers, dude. Appreciate that. I don't think that's the right bolt. I think that is a faux power on my part. So we'll go for the bottom one and get that one in, and then we'll screw that top one back out and put one of the right lengths in. You've always been a mod. And a bit of a rocker as well. You've been a day one mod, you matey. Because there are those that I trust to let the idiots do their thing. And you're one of them. Not one of the idiots. Let's try and get that out of there now. This is... there we go. So. That is way too short. What was I thinking? They're all way too short. I should have measured them. Because what we actually need are those ones. There we are. Got a grip now, look. It's always good to get a grip. Yeah, I made you a mod just in case Derek got carried away and we had to sort him out. So we got that one in, I can release my hands from the assembly now. Well, that's a good job you told me, because I already have done. Just checking. Right, okay, so the last two of those longer ones, which is those two, into the two holes in here, which you can't see. Let me show you. See, I'm putting those into there, and into there, and into there, like that. You still can't see. God, sack the cameraman. So there, and there, and there. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It was another one of those purchases that you just think, the minute you've done it, you just think, why have I actually done that? And I said it before, and I'll say it again. It's only one person's fault. If he's still in the room, he knows who he is. Sent him a message on Twitter. Should I buy one of them? Yes, he says. Buy one of them. So I did. And he knows who he is. Whether he's still here or not, I don't know, but he knows who he is. Skulking away in the background. Right, so that's those four in. Now I've got to line up my what's it on the bottom. Now what I have noticed is I haven't got those bearings level. It didn't actually tell me to get those bearings level, and I should have done. I might just need to loosen up a little, because those bearings are at different heights. You probably can't see this. So that bearing is slightly lower than that bearing. It's flush at the top, but it's not at the bottom, whereas that one's flush at the bottom but not at the top. Now I think that's going to cause issues when they come to doing calibrations. So I am going to just loosen those up a little and get those two bearings so they sit equally. So as we look at it, this one's right. That one I'm just going to have to drop slightly. That's not the complete kit. RJ, behave yourself. Plenty of people in here with banhammers who are quite happily watching me get ridiculed. Now you see, I'm not happy with that. I'm going to spin those 4 back out. And I'm going to make sure I get that bearing level. The only thing I'll be printing in half an hour is replacement parts on a different machine. Right, oh no. Don't loosen it off too much, Matt, because it will all fall to bits. Right, how's that look? I think that I'm much happier with. I haven't got any patience. There we go. Yeah. So all going swimmingly well now that I've just got those. That was more me having to be me, but they're in now, and then I've got to make sure that's lined up as per the instructions. If anybody's following, that is step 26. Third picture or second picture, not sure which. It says insert and tighten the two in the remaining holes. Look from below and align the 2 holes in the trapezoidal nut against the holes in the plastic parts. Secure the trapezoidal nut to the x-axis with 2 M3x20 screws. So that's these little fellas. Just let me check the picture of the M3x20s. So they are threaded all the way. So it's those ones. Again, you can't see what I'm doing, can you, really? None of these cameras are actually pointing the right way. I might just see if turning that like that and actually moving that. Hey, look, we've got a printer in shot. Woo! No, please stop saying that. Please stop saying it. Because I did think, like I said, the minute I pulled the trigger, I did think to myself, that's 400 quid you just spent. How long is that going to take you to recuperate that 400 quid? Especially, the absolute stupidity about it is, it was, in all honesty, it was actually done so I had something to stream. Part of the reason for buying it was I had some content. So I spent 400 quid on getting something out there so I had some content to stream. So you tell me who's the stupid one. I mean, alright, I've got a printer out of it, which I really didn't need. You know, but I don't know. Sometimes you just do these things, don't you? Hey? Sometimes you just do these things. And you can't take it with you. So they say. That I'm sure my parents were trying. There we go. It's actually beginning to look a lot like a printer. It's beginning to look a lot like a printer. Oh no, that's me definitely demonetised now. Have I got 16 likes though, Richard? That's the question. Okay, so I need a plastic cover. I need that. I need one zip tie. Alright, who's not hit that like button? Come on! And why aren't those moderators doing their job properly? Why aren't they forcing people to hit the like button? Ooh. 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 And like I've said before, don't forget. Save a man from getting broke. Save a man from getting broke. I don't care. I actually don't care. Joseph Prusa says, "Feed me now, Seymour." The reason why I haven't given you the hammer is there'd be no person left in the room anymore. You would just get rid of them all. I know you too well. You would just ban them because you think it's funny. Right, I'm trying to... Ooh, I say this is a bit difficult. Wrap the textile sleeve around the X-axis motor cable. Secure the textile sleeve with a zip tie. What blooming things glue together? Oh, there we go. It's just where they cut it at the end, it was a bit sort of welded. The sleeve, do not over tighten the zip tie, you might damage the cable. Cut the remaining part of the zip tie using pliers as closest to its head as possible. Wrap the entire textile sleeve around the X-axis motor cable and guide it into the extrusion. Exactly. Yeah, I can see it driving me around the bend as well, buddy. I really can't. I've got to get this laggy band off first. Oh, laggy band off. Oh, don't you just hate this stuff? I'm struggling. It's got to be said, I am really struggling with this blooming cable wrap. I know there's a way of doing it. And I think the answer is that you stick your finger in it like that and you just prise it apart. I tell you what, that is just unnecessarily hard work. I'm going to try something. This could all go terribly wrong at this point. I'm going to try it anyway. I am using an Allen key to open it up. It isn't helping. Sean, I'm going to agree with you. Mind you, I haven't finished yet. But yeah, it's just... And with me funny thumb, it makes it even worse. Oh, for goodness sake, will you just go in? I know you can actually buy little things that sort of push it apart and make it all work really easily. But really? Does it have to be this difficult? You know, I'll be losing viewers in a minute. People are going to be getting so bored they're going to go off. In fact, I've lost one. Somebody's fallen asleep. And quite frankly, I don't blame them. I should actually look on the PDF, shouldn't I? Because I bet somebody's put a tip on there that'll make it so easy. There's 3 comments. I bet one of them's a tip. Easy way to do that is to put it underwater. Do it with a pickled onion. Thomas, behave yourself. I know you're feeling weary, but there's no need to take it out on me. Oh, look. There we go. Look. So get it kind of on. Oh man, this is so frustrating. We're in. With 18 people. But you wouldn't hear me. Because everybody would be talking over me and saying things that were far more interesting. And then I'd end up leaving the stream myself. Leave you all to it. So that's not happening. That's kind of got it. That's kind of got it. It is protected. It is in its sleeve. Now, what am I supposed to do with it now? After that nightmare. So excuse... Oh, zip tie. Zip tie. Not too tight with a zip tie. Air frying. It's the future. Also the past, but it's the future. We have a Ninja, not sponsored, in our house, and it gets used for an awful lot of stuff. An awful lot of stuff. So cut remaining part of the zip tie. Yeah, done that. Wrap the entire text and guide it into the extrusion. So I either want me to get all of that in there. How's that going to work when it goes up and down there? That can't be. That can't be what they mean. First kit build? No, absolutely not. Did the Mark III. I've also done a second go, which is on my channel. Did a complete build of the second go, which is used quite a lot by the people that build them or used to build them before they changed the design. Sorry, I'm just making sure I'm getting this absolutely right. So it needs to go. How does that work? I think I've made a mistake, guys. And nobody's realised. I think that's on the wrong end. I think I've made a mistake, guys, and nobody's noticed. Oh, don't tell me. I've mounted it the wrong way around. No, I haven't. I haven't mounted it the wrong way around. That's the right way around. That's right, that's right, that's right. So it actually has to come around from the back to the front. And go into there. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you want me to do? It actually comes... Right, test the sleeve on the X-axis motor. Secure the sleeve with a zip tie. A few millimeters from the end. Do not over-tighten the zip tie. You might damage the cable. Cut the remaining... Yeah. Wrap the entire textile sleeve around the X-axis motor cable and guide it into the extrusion. So what they actually want me to do is to go... Can you see this on the overhead? They're going to go... You're going to go from this side round to that side, into there, and then that's going to go down and into the box. So I've got to get that like that. That is not very well explained, I don't think, personally. I also don't think that's going to fit particularly well either. Basically, that's got to go in there. That's got to come up here. Got to get that cable down there. Push it. So I've got to push those two into the extrusion so they're well and truly in, and I'm not nipping them. And then put that protector piece, inserty, plasticky bit over the top. And then do that over there. So that's in like that. That's in like that. I've got to push that. Oh my goodness, that's tight. Yeah. Now you tell me. But where would be the content if it was all already done? There we are. I'll turn it around in a minute and show you. I just want to make sure I've got that cable isn't nipped. I do not want to be nipping extruder cables, do I? I don't think it is, but it's awfully close. So I just want to... Just going to bring that back out. My goodness gracious me. Right, get in. Right, there we go. So I'll show you what they wanted it to look like now. So it goes round from there, round like that, and in there, and then that cover plate goes on, and then the cable comes out the bottom there. Okay, that's what they wanted me to do, but my goodness, that was a job and a half. And then it goes into the second port. Like that. There's the lovely for you. Okay, we now must carry on. So I'm just catching up with the chat. Might have several videos of this kind of fun. Oh, it's fun, is it? Ha! That's what you call it. Right, belt tensioning. Woohoo! Step 30, and we're near a drinky again. Drinkies. I'm miles away from a drink. I am going to cheat. I'm going to have another drink. Because I'm sweating cobs. Right, X-axis belt tensioning. Move the X-carriage all the way to the inside edge. So we're going to go like that. Using a finger on your left hand, Push the belt down in the center of the x-axis. Some force should be needed for you to bend the belt, but don't try to overstretch the belt as you might damage the printer. I'm supposed to get your finger in there. That's floppy. Adjust it by releasing or tightening both screws at the X end. I would have said that needs some tension on it. Now the most important thing here is to keep your eye on this part. Make sure that you keep it perpendicular while you're tightening it. At least I think that's the most important thing to do. Oh, we're going there now. Well, they can get it a bit further than me. I don't know, I can do it. I'm happy with that. We'll go with that for now. Look at the x-axis from the side. Align the x end panel to the z-axis smooth rods by twisting the plastic part. Do not use too much force to twist. You may damage the x-axis. So you want me to look along that way and make sure that that isn't twisted that way or that way. Look at it like that, and I just do a little tweak. Okay, that's good and true. Secure the X end by tightening both screws on the front side of the plastic part. So now I'm happy. I've got to wind those two in with the right size Allen key. So we've been going 2 hours. How's everybody feeling? Can we carry on? Or do you want to leave it till tomorrow? There are 19 of you watching, or 18 of you watching. I keep remembering I'm one of them. So, quick straw poll. Bang it in the comments now. Do we carry on going, or do we call it an end after 2 hours and carry on tomorrow? Same bat time, same bat channel. Come on, I'm looking for the comments. I want to know, do we keep going or do we give it a rest till tomorrow? I'm not doing bad, Andrew. I'm not doing bad at all. I don't feel lethargic yet. I mean, we could probably bang another hour in. I'll have a swig. I'm going to have a swig. Problem is, it's the only one I've got in here with me. I only bought one in because having too many can just be silly. Right, so we're on to step 32, which is the extruder motor. We have the extruder motor and we have the motor pinion. Motorpinion.com. There you go. So same thing again. Lay it on its side. Turn the spindle around to that angle. Have we just got one Allen bolt on that one? Yes, we have. So we go the right way around, which means it wants winding out a little. with the right Allen key. Oh, you see, you're pressurising me now. Oh, we're not here tomorrow, Matt. Diddly diddly do. So, let's loosely tighten this up. It says I want 1.5 mil. So, bang that on there. Slide that in, because I reckon that's about 1.5 mil. Except the problem is, when you move it out the way, if you have the grub screw too flat, it don't work. It don't work. There we go. Give it a nip. Set screw with phase directly to the pad of the shaft. Yeah. Tighten the screw, the longest part of the Allen key. Yeah. Be careful not to strip the screw. Yeah. Yada yada yada. We can do this. Check the orientation of the pulley on the shaft. Now, I could never possibly get that wrong, could I? The next we're on to this orangey bit, which is step 34. We need some M3 nuts, which we have there. And we need a bearing, okay? So I hope you're all bearing with me. Here we go, bearing. And my nuts are on there. So assembling the extruder, place the extruder front like in the picture and insert 3 M3N nuts into the holes. Use the screw pulling technique if necessary. So fingers don't work. Nut in, nut in, nut in, and rather than using the screw pulling technique, I'm using the smash with the pliers technique. And there we go. Who needs the pull through screw technique when you can use the mash with pliers technique? Turn the parts upside down and chuck a bearing in. You say put a bearing in, that's got quite some tolerance on that, as that lad. Got quite some tolerance. That might need a bit of gentle persuasion to get that in there. Might be another job for pliers. No, thumb's done it. We're in, bearing home. For the next step, please prepare the bit with the bit sticking out of it. So, this piece a bearing. Yes. The up a bearing. And now I'm look. Yes, I've got one of those. Good, isn't it? Yeah, she seems to have the right bits to do the job. It says. In Prusa, brilliant. One of those and one of those. Okay. So, with that like that. No, we're not using the screw pull technique. I've told you. We're using the absolutely fall into the hole technique is what's happened there. Okay. So So that's that bit in. And then flip it over. Lock nut in the top. You know, fingers have had it. We shall use the Matthew with a pair of pliers technique. There we are. Beautiful, children. And then that into like so. I mean, then my nut's falling out at the other end. Did you see that? My nut fell out to the other end. That's actually quite loose in there. Make sure the bearing is aligned with the top surface of the printed part. Now you tell me. Yes, of course it is. So now I need idle extruder or extruder idler, another bearing, my shaft. I'm going to get my shaft out. Everyone walk out. Look, my shaft's out. Everybody, steady. Have your eye out. Okay, so I've got a square nut to go into there. Again, making sure it goes all the way in. See, I'm getting the hang of this now. It's like I'm reading Prusa's mind. So that's like that. So that's good. Slide the bearing in. Braid the pin in. So bearing in. Align the holes and secure the bearing into the shaft. Make sure the shaft is aligned with the surface of the plastic parts. So don't let it be pushed out one side more than the other, basically. Come on. You know you wanna. I'm just going to... Oh no, that's possibly not a good idea. I was just going to push that through, but it's going to put pressure on the printed part if I do that. So we're going to do it this way. So I'm just looking down through the bearing so I can see the shaft below. And then it pushes in like that. Make sure it's flush. Make sure it spins, which it does. Okay, so now we need springs and bouncy bits and stuff and things and... Okay. Place all those over there, as I will be needing them. I need me pinion gear with me. They call it a pinion gear? They call it a filament spur. Filament spur. And the PTFE tube. Now this is where things get interesting, because I haven't actually got my PTFE cutter to hand. So I might have to do a little bit of rooting about in a box or something to get this cut right. I haven't got a tape measure either. You see, that's two silly mistakes I've made there. But we shall overcome. You might need to chat amongst yourselves for a minute, but we shall overcome. Because I know there's some cutting coming up. So. Like that. Then we have that way around. And that goes on. Like that. Okay. Done that. Secure with two M3x12s. They're the equal ones. M3x12. M3x12. the key of the Allen. And we still managed to have 17 people watching me. Get a life! Goodness sake, people. What's wrong with you? Okay, drop this into there. Like that. That's into there like that. You see, that's got there and that's on that. You see? Simple. Make sure that the gears fit together. Rotate with one pulley to ensure the second is moving well. Oh, like a glove. Like a well-oiled machine. Then chuck top on. In such a way that's like that, that's like that. So that has to go. I've got to go like that. Oh, that's just... Oh, the shaft has entered the passage perfectly. Scoop belts with 3 M3 by 25s. And they go into there. And I'm half waiting for my phone to ring then. Because I'm sure some of our aerials up here are pointed that way. So I'm waiting for customers to go, got no TV signal, can you come and do something about it? Yeah, I'll just go and put the fire out at Billsdale. Bear with me. Oh, that. Why is that gone all the way down there? Oh, it is there. It has actually reached enough. Panic over. There it is, look. Kurai! Is that a kurai? Didn't give me any kurai. So I've got to think about something that's going to work for measuring this PTFE tube. Okay, so that's that together. Right, wait a minute. Insert the assembled mini idler into the extrusion. Okay. So that's going to go in. Not there. It's got to go in there, you stupid boy Pike. Okay. And 3x25 screw. Is that one? It is. Through there, through there. Now when I've got this in, do not overtake and make sure the idler can move freely. Now press the spring. I'm using the wrong bolt. This is the M3B40. Who didn't notice that? One of theirs. Yes, it's one of theirs. Come on, get in. There we go. Well, I'll keep an eye on my phone, Richard, because it might well happen, yeah. Right, that's moving freely. That's moving ace freely. Oh, I've over-tightened it now. Take it back a half turn. There we go. That's what we want to see. A nice flappy bit. Dan's in the room. Thanks for joining again, Dan. That's 2 days in a row. Something's going wrong. That in, that on. Okay, we can do that bit. And then that goes in there, through there. My God, we have it. It is working. Yeah, that would work, Richard. I think not. Right, here we go. This is where the issue starts. It is recommended to mark the distance of 2.5 centimetres, 0.9 inches from the end of the PTFE tube before insertion into the extruder. Both ends are symmetrical. Right, this is where we have a bit of an issue because I do not have a tape measure with me. I do not know where my cutters are either. But this could become a bit of a runaround. Keep talking amongst yourselves. I'm just looking through umpteen hundred boxes. Cannot believe I didn't think to bring one in. Has somebody got one they can lend me? Just chuck it at the screen. Cannot believe that. I feel like such a fool. Have got anything in there? No. Do they have any markings on them? No. Has everybody left yet? I'm really sorry. Right, I'll tell you what I've got there. I've got a blade. That'll do for cutting it. All I need now is a measure. I've got a nice sharp Stanley blade. So that'll do the cutting. A measure on one of the bags of spares. Ooh. You see, these are supposed to be to scale, aren't they? Am I right in thinking that all these are put to scale? There should be a measure on here so you can line it up and use it, shouldn't there? Because if they're accurate, dimensionally accurate, which I'm sure they are, like that look, they should have that set so you can mark it. That's what they should do. Don't you think? I'm just checking to make sure there isn't a bit of something somewhere that's got a and measure on it. But it would appear I've been let down somewhat. So how long does it say I need? It says I need 2.5 centimetres. So I got... Right, somebody correct me if I'm wrong here. No, it definitely says on here, mark it. It says, I don't have to cut it, but it says mark it. It says it is recommended to mark the distance of 2.5 centimetres, 0.98 inches from the end of the PTFE tube before insertion into the extrusion. Both ends are symmetrical. Locate the hole for the PTFE tube on the side of the... But, so to get that measurement... Right, sorry, yeah, I don't need to cut her. I'm being ridiculous. No, right, but I need this. But on here... I've got there, that's an M3 by 25. So, M3 by 25, that's 2.5 centimetres. If these are to scale... So if I put that on there... and mark on the shaft, whether you can actually see what I'm pointing at, on that bit, that's going to be 2.5 centimetres, isn't it? Because it's the length of the shaft, not the head. So if I do that and mark that there, that should be right, shouldn't it? Is that right? Does people think that makes sense? Because these are to scale, aren't they? Yeah? Yes, they are. And that's an M3 by 25. Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, just for the sake of saying, that says M3 by 25 on there. Let me just get you. That says M3 by 25 on there. So, the length of the shaft from there to there is what I want. So I could put that on there and then just mark it there on the end and that'll be right. I'm going for it. I'm going to mark it. I think. Yeah, found one. Ridiculous, isn't it? I've marked that like that because I think that's right. I think I've just come up with a top tip there. A top tip. In case you're an idiot like me and you haven't bought a blooming thing in with you. So, inspection door. Back in the real world. Yeah, because they're M3 by 25. That's it. So you could actually do it like that. Push that up against there like that. And then that marks there, look. You see? That's how you measure it. That's how you get it. You don't need a measure. You just push that up against the bottom of the head. And where it lines up with the end, that's your 25. There you go. Massive tip there. Right, so. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. Yeah, and I haven't read any of them. Do any of them mention me being an idiot? Right, sorry. I'm thinking. Both. Both most of the time, and we do mix them up as well. I know it's a terribly bad thing to do, but it is kind of how we work. I work a lot with farmers and the such, and they really do kind of, yeah, do feet, inches, and then need 20 mil on here, and then it just all gets. Sometimes it's quite difficult. Right. Place the extruder on the carriage and make sure the orientation is correct. So that's going on like that. That you can't see. So I'll turn you around. There you go. That's going on like that. So that's how they want it. Okay. So yes, we're happy with that. The brass fittings. Secure it with the M3 by 25 screws. I know what they look like. So M3 by 25 screws. Screws. So M3 by 25 screw in the lower hole. You see, this is good camera work. Hand right in front of what I'm doing. I need a Sean. Okay, so that's that screwed in like that. So I've got to chuck that bit in and then whack the screw through. So chuck that bit in. Is it the same again? M3 by 25. Do not over tighten. Make sure the mini inspection door can open freely. Nice. Well, one of my boss's favourite saying is that he's a farmer and he's not accurate. He just works to a thou. He doesn't say 1,000 of what. There we go. So that's that on. Oh, we are moving fast here. I can have a drink. Drink. Okay. Compare your assembly with the picture. Yeah, mine's bigger than yours. Oh. It's hot end time, ladies and gentlemen. This is where things could go really wrong. I have a box here. Stuff. So one hot end. One print fan. One print fan. Anything else? M3 by 20 times 3. Sorry, I'm reading and not taking a lot of notice. M3 by 20 times 3. Am I onto another bag? All the printed parts and fasteners needed for this chapter are included in the box. Print head. Well, they're not. Because I think I probably took them out. So it's in this bag. Not in a box, in the bag. Sarah, you've made it! Hello, sis. We're really getting on today. Look. We've got like bits built. Look, we've got all that done and all this done and it's all sort of gone together. Yeah, we're actually doing a bit today. And we're on to the hot end now. Now that I found where I put the bolts. So this is good. I thought you were working. Could have sworn you said you were at work today. Or have I been going that long that you're finished? Okay. So, oh, I see. The hot end goes around the bearings. Righto. So that's going to go on there. Not that you can see this. All done at work. Well done, you. That's going to go on there like that. Which is quite good. So we'll see what we need to attach that with. Use the other hand to secure heatsink with the upper M3x20. Insert and tighten the screw into the lower hole. So M3x20. Little itty bitty ones. M3x20 is those. Because I can measure those up against that and go, yes. So we do the right, okay, yeah. So they go in from that side. To get that to sit neatly in like that. And then we'll just spin that in. That is like that. Doesn't actually tell me which way that all the cables have to come off, but I'm guessing they can only really come that way. And then the lower one. Which is there. Now I'm very careful not to over tighten these. Because I'd hate to knacker up a nice piece of casting. Blower fan. So blower fan goes in from here and appears to go in like so. I think you might have to put, does it say to put the top in first? Insert the edge of the fan on the bottom edge of the X-carriage pocket. Make sure that the sticker on the fan is on the other side. It is. And then pop it in. So I've got to go in from the bottom, it says. Like that. And then, my goodness. That is an awfully tight fit. A wimble away, a wimble away. Okay, I think I'm lined up at that. Like I say, awfully tight fit. You see, what I don't like, I'm going to have a little moan now. That ridge, it's on the bottom of that fan. There's no ridge for that on the bottom of that moulding. So, have I got to get it beyond it? Is that what we're saying? Because even then, it's going to... There's no ridge for it that I can see inside that printed part. So, even if I was to get that right the way in, like that, It still doesn't want to play. Let me have a look at the picture. Doesn't make it terribly clear. But it is awfully tight to get in. That's the best I can do. That must be right. Is it upside down? No, sis. If you're following, hang on. Look at the picture on the screen. There, look. And then that's what we've got. So we're right. We are right. M3 by 20. M3 by 20. And that is going to go in there. We'll wind that all the way in, making sure we pick up the fan as we go past. Okay, that's good. I'm happy with that. Well, that was easy. Hot end fan preparation. So I need the hot end fan, which is that. Making sure that's not an emergency call. No. It's Derek sending me a picture. Somebody sending me a picture. Ah! Yeah, it's right then. I am right. Good Lord. Okay, right, sorry. Yes. Cool. Excellent. Superb. Where was I? I have fan shroud. Fan shroud is in here. I think I've seen it. Fan shroud. So let's bend you back down again. Let the dog see the rabbit. Fan shroud, fan. So orientations. That is like that. That is like that. And that goes on there, like that. Well, I hope you don't lose power. Because how on earth are you going to watch me if you lose power? Right, I'm sorry, I'm just reading. So that's okay. I've got to... So that now has to go on there like that, apparently. M3 by 20s again. Let me check that I am absolutely right with that. Yes, indeed I am. So we'll actually put an M3 by 20 in, like so, and then we'll offer it up, like so. Still managed to get 18 watching. That isn't biting. It's very difficult to get that Allen key in there because of that smooth rod. But we're in. That smooth rod does make life a little bit difficult. But we're on. We're okay. We're getting there. So that was step 6 of assembling a hot end fan. So now on to step 7, which is the Minder holder parts and prep. So the Minder holder looks like that. And we want an M3 by 12, an M3 by 20 and a nylock nut. We've got a nylock nut. M3 by 12, that's going to be one of theirs. And then M3 by 20 is one of theirs. Okay, so we are going to put the nylock nut into orifice. Ooh, pliers again because the fingers aren't playing. Flat side of the pliers, push her in. There's lovely for you. Right, place the mini Minder holder on the hot end fan, secure with the M3 by 12 screw. So M3 by 12. So that wants to go into there. And then we need to come round. Well, that's not... Oh, I see. That's actually going... So that's going to go up to there like that, look. Okay, that's going to screw onto there. Sure whether that's got a bite yet. Oh no, we're in. Don't like these cables so close to that fan. Guard the hot end cables as shown in the picture. Oh chihuahua. That's where I've got them, but still don't particularly like it. Yeah, it's where they are. Like I say, they're not nipped, but oh, it's not brilliant. Sure, it'll work fine. Pinder probe time. Super Pinder probe. M3 by 12. I have to get that one in first, don't I? Got to do that front one with that one. get ahead of yourself, Matthew. That one goes through there. And that's going to run right the way through the fan. Just got to make sure that's all lined up, which I can't see. Yeah, just having to flex it up slightly to get it to go through the hole in the fan shroud. And now that's working its way through, and it'll pick up on the other side and pull tight. Like so. Beautiful. Okay, so now Minder Prinder Pinder. To M3 by 12, so that's another one of the short ones, isn't it? So, Pinder probe in. Let's see what it actually says. So it says, screw the M3 by 12 screw by 2 to 3 threads, will tighten later. Insert super pinder sensor into the mini pinder adapter. Adjust the super pinder sensor position. There should be about 4 or 5 threads below the holder. So this is where I have to count to 5. So what have I got there? 1, 2, 3. There we go. That's about as good as I'll get. Tighten the screw of the mini printer holder. Do not use excessive force. Do not use excessive force. Just tighten it enough so that it holds the probe in place. That's all you've got to do, because you will be altering it again later. All we're doing at the moment is just making sure it doesn't fall out. Anne's in the room. Say hello everybody to Anne. Welcome, welcome Anne. Yeah, got that bit done, got that bit done. We've tightened that up. So we're down to step 12, which is the fan spacer clip. Parts and preparation. So this is the clip. Looks like this. Put that there where we can see it. And we need a M3 by 20. Yeah, M3 by 20. Textile sleeve. Textile sleeve. Big textile sleeve. Which textile sleeve do you require? The 8 by 700. So that's the 8 by 700. So that's the smaller one of the two. One by 8 by 700. No, it's the bigger one. This one. Big one. Okay. And 3 cable ties. We can do those. 1, 2, 3 cable ties. Push all the cables from the print head into the mini fan spacer clip. Orientate the clip as shown in the picture with the beveled side up. Okay. So they want it that way up like that. So by all the cables, you've got one fan, which is the actual hot end fan, the heater cartridge, the thermistor, and the Pinder probe. And they all go in like so. Oh, and it's pulled that fan as well. So we've got the part cooling fan as well. They want that. So they're bringing it all together. This is going to get a bit fiddly. That comes around, comes over the top. And goes that way. Okay. Oh, this is just a little bit confusing. Well, it's not confusing, but just want to make sure I get this absolutely spot on. Now is not the time to start making mistakes. So I'm just going to undo all the cables that have still got the tie wrapped around them. Just trying to work out the orientation of the clip in relation to the holder. Is what I'm actually just trying to sort out in my head. So it's like that. So that goes through there. It actually loops round and goes back out. Okay. So that's a bit weird. So that actually goes in and out. And the rest just go through. So, okay. I'm sorry if this is incredibly boring for everyone, but I need to make sure I get this right. This has to be done right. So everything goes in that way. So it's going to be like that, and then that goes through like, oh, that. So it's looped, and then that goes in. Yeah, I know, Sarah, but it's got to be right. These things have to be right, because this is where the mistakes happen if you're not very careful. And we don't want mistakes. Not when you spent this much money on a printer. So yes, that's all in. That's all in. So M3 by 20 screw. And then that comes in from this side. And I'll just spin that in with the Allen key. this is a critical stage. This is where you do not want to be getting things wrong. Because if you get things wrong at this stage, you've got serious repercussions. So I'm just winding that in, making sure that it's the right one and that it doesn't come through the other side and cause any damage. Okay, I'm not going any tighter than that for the moment. So the fan cable and everything else is through it. Slide down the mini fan spacer clip. Done that, yes. The mini fan spacer clip must still move freely. That's too tight then. So let's back it off. There we go. That's now moving freely. Yeah. Merge all the cables. Guide them over at the tactile sleeve around the cable bundle and slide it into the minifan spacer clip so that it extends over 2 to 5 millimeter textile at the other side of the guide. Right, okay, so this, my favourite thing in the world, is stupid cable stuff. Oh, pull that apart because it's sort of glued. It's like they've cut it with heat, if that makes any sense, and it sort of glues the end together. And it does make fitting anything in a bit interesting. Let's get those cables together. I mean, for now, I'd be happy to get that first section through the holder and secured, and then worry about the rest of this wrap afterwards. I might even have to stand up, because this is getting increasingly annoying. Right, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to show you my legs. There you go. I do have them. Okay. Now, how much of that did they want to go through? Just checking. Yeah, that looks okay. Yeah, okay. I'm fairly happy that I've got that about how they want it. Now, do they want to zip tie at any point? Not yet. Right, so I've got to feed all these cables into here now. So this is really boring. And I'm really sorry. But it really is on the list of things you have to do. Go make a cup of tea. Go make me a cup of tea. Yeah, Andrew, it's one of, like we said earlier, one of the most annoying parts of the whole job. It has to be done. But you've just got to be so careful with these cables because they will just have a fit given half a chance. Right, I'm going to try to use my Allen key again to see if I can use that just to coax that outer sleeve I'm clutching at straws here. Well, it's kind of working. Oh, we're moving on. I think I prefer that spiral stuff, you know. That spiral stuff was a lot easier to manage. A lot easier to manage. Like somebody said earlier, don't know how long they get to build one of these in a factory, but my goodness. But it's not as long as this. But then it always takes longer when you're live streaming. So I'm led to believe. Oh, we're going somewhere now, look. And I've not managed to pull the other end out yet. Oh my goodness! Mystery packages from the sister. Hoo-hoo! Sis, I will. Part 1 should be there tomorrow. I expect to see them demonstrated on street. Oh, well, that's very dependent. Very dependent. I'm not promising anything. If it's another nurse's outfit, but bless you, sister. I'm glad I'm bringing you some kind of enjoyment listening to me waffle on with my Yorkshire dialect. Okay, we are very nearly there. Okay. That's 20 minutes of my life nobody will get back. Or something. Okay, so we've actually got that on, amazingly. So, start by rotating the lead screw with your fingers until the X-axis position is at its highest. Okay. So wind it up. And move the print head all the way to the right to ensure it's touching the printed part. So then this, I've just noticed something, the pinder probe isn't in. Pinder probe isn't in. The cable for the pinder, oh my goodness. It's safe, honest bro. Why don't I believe you? Why don't I believe you? And why have I managed to mess that up? Oh, heavens to Murgatroyd. Is that going to fit through there if I think on my feet now? This is me thinking on my feet. I can pull that through. Is that plug going to fit through? No, it isn't. Nightmare. Nightmare, nightmare. So we're going to scream, cry. I knew it was going too well. So let's take that back out now. that. Slip that in. Slip that in. That back. So I'm having to open this up now just to get this blooming. I mean, I could actually just run it down the side, really, and just hold it in place with cable ties, and it would do the job just as well. But we might as well try and do it as properly as we can, even though it has annoyed me that I missed it out. But, you know, this is what happens. Like I've said so many times, I make the mistake, so hopefully you don't. Come on, screw, go in. There she goes. She's got a bite now. Right, bit of slack on my pinder. Whatever they call it these days. Thanks for that, Tom. I'm not sure whether it's quite character building. But I do totally understand why you never do live streams and you never show anybody you building anything, because I'm sure you would get just as frustrated as I do. Because I bet you're an awful lot more methodical than I am, because you're that kind of guy. Mindy, pindy, windy, whatever it is. I'm sick to death of hearing the word mini in the blooming instructions. We know it's a mini. They don't need to keep telling us. I know it's product placement and all that, but for goodness sake. It's the Mini X Carriage, it's the Mini Extruder, it's the Mini this. We know! Okay, success. Mindy Pindy is now in the cable. Right, so with Mindy Pindy in the cable, bend the cable bundle slightly up to the extruder. So slightly. I would call that sort of slightly. Side would help, wouldn't it? Like that. And then I've got some cable tie holes. I see. Very good. I see, said the blind man. So, cable tie. In through there, out through there. Right, can somebody explain to my sister? Because I can't tell her, because I don't know. What is the point to all this? Tom, you're the man. You explain to my sister exactly why am I doing this? Exactly why do we do this? Apart from the fact it's a hobby we enjoy. Somebody explain to her why we do it. Because quite frankly, sometimes I do not know. Is it faster? No, but it's... Prusas in particular tend to be very much a sort of go-to machine that you can just... you can slice something using Prusa slicer, and then you can chuck a roll of filament on it as long as the filament's in fairly good condition, and it's going to work. It's a consistently good machine. It just works, and you can be confident that it's going to work. You don't ever worry that when you set a print off on a Prusa machine that it's going to fail. And the quality of the print is always better. Or not always better, but there's less work involved in getting a good print out of it, I think is probably the truth. Is that probably a fair deal, guys? That Prusas are just that bit more dependable. Would that be a fair explanation? I mean, it's the same with everything. You know, some people prefer one machine to another. It's like your apples and your... I'm going to say oranges, but you know what I mean. It's... yeah, just had to open that one up because I forgot to put the motor cable through that one, but we've opened it up enough that will now... No, I haven't. Open it up a little bit more. And it's a small machine as well, so it doesn't take up a great deal of room. Tom says he takes his everywhere with him. I'm not quite sure what he means by everywhere. I mean, I suppose it's a machine for somebody who wants to print rather than a machine for somebody that wants to tinker. A lot of people buy machines and then they do lots of upgrades to them and lots of changes to them, and we're all guilty of that. But the thing with a Prusa up to a point is that it's there. It's there because it works, and if you're more interested in the finished print rather than what you go through to get it, a Prusa is a good machine for that. And it's a strange for me to say, but it's quite an inexpensive machine as well. For the quality of print that comes out of it, it's cheap in comparison to high-end machines which have only the same quality and only the same abilities. The Mini in particular is just a very portable machine. So if you haven't got a lot of room, if you haven't got a big shed like this that you can keep machines in, you know, this can sit, well, I wouldn't say in the bedroom because you'd probably be homeless if you had it in the bedroom, but it's the sort of thing you can have in the dining room at home and it's not going to get in the way too much. If that makes any sense whatsoever. That's how I feel about it anyway. I mean, I don't know everybody else's point of view. But it's definitely a go-to machine out of all the machines that you have. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of people do sell 3D printed stuff, but it's an awful lot of work. An awful lot of work. And to be frank, you certainly do not get out of it. You know, if you were to charge per hour for your time, you would, you'd never sell anything, basically. Now, I'm just checking out that I've got this all right, which I appear to have done. So I could just do with feeding that round there, but we can do that. I mean, I think we're all in it for different things. I don't think any two individual peoples on here want exactly the same thing out of 3D printing. I mean, I never did it to make money, let's put it that way. Christmas decorations, repair parts for stuff at work, little things I've designed for work to make life easier, but never to make money, because I'm not good enough is the answer to that bit, and I haven't got the time. I'm not getting that in there very well. That is looking sloppy, and I don't want it to look sloppy. Just trying to... There we go. That's seated better now. That's a lot better. Right, we'll snip those off later on. No need to do that now. I can't get that cable management any further up. Cover up any more of that stepper motor cable. It's just going to have to do like that. It's neat, it's tidy, it's on. Okay. So PTFE tube time. The print head one. So that's this one that's in here. This is a double-ended thing with some little furls on. Sorry, yeah, I often... The thing is with 3D printers that you'll find things to print. Yes, absolutely. Favourite prints with this kind of machine. What will I be printing with it? I'll probably end up... it'll be my one I use as test prints for Christmas decorations, which I will then do once I know that I've got the design I want right on the CR30 to mass produce them. But this will be the one that I hone my designs on. I think is probably the best way to describe that. Right, following steps. Okay, the printhead PTFE tube. It seems to be the same at both ends. So take the end of the PTFE tube and insert it with the brass fitting into the extruder. Both ends of the tube are symmetrical. That's always good. So from the overhead, you can see that goes into there. And that just tightens up. I'm sure I'll have to use my super spanner to tighten that up all the way if it says so. Yes, tighten with the universal wrench. And then this end, I'm guessing, is going to go into there. Just might slide that carriage up a bit just to take the weight off. And then we'll tighten that up with the universal wrench. There's lovely for you. Well, that was easy. So that's in. That's in. That's in. More gummy bears, or in my case, more beer. I'll send you some this year. Definitely. Good night, Richard. Take care, mate. Just seeing how much more we've got to do. Right, we're going to get to the bottom of this page tonight, guys, and then I'm going to leave it because it is now 10:30 and I am beginning to feel a little tired. So, we'll do the heat bed and then we'll call it for tonight and we will finish off tomorrow. But let's get this heat bed together. So, just feel that time is beginning to catch up with me. I am beginning to feel a little bit weary and really isn't conducive with wiring and one thing or another. So we'll get the heat bed built, which is the end of the page, and then we'll call it for the night. I'm sorry I haven't got it finished, but like I say, we will endeavour to carry on tomorrow night. Same time again, unless you hear otherwise, 7 o'clock UK time. And we will, I'm sure we'll see it to the end tomorrow. Like I say, just beginning to feel a little fatigued now, so now is not the time to be making mistakes. So we need the heat bed, the heat bed cable, which is that one. Top and bottom cover. Camera turned around so you can see what's going on. So we've got, I'm just trying to keep the magnets away from everything at the moment. So we've got that. We have this. We have this. And we have this. And we will have some fittings. Okay. So first things first. So we're jumping down to step 21, assembling the heat bed. Insert two M3x8 screws into the heat bed. The screw heads must be on the top surface of the heat bed. Turn the heat bed bottom up, like in picture. I lost my mouse. There we go. Okay, so one in, two in. Now you can see that says VCC and ground, so black and red. So when we turn it over, that becomes black and red. Make sure that you get those that way up, like that, and then lock nuts on. So we're going to need our super spanner. RJ, you're doing a marvellous job there. Education, education, education. So we're going for that one. So there's one. And then the ground, which is the red and black. Get that on. You can't actually see what I'm doing. So red to the VCC, red and black to the ground. Nip them up, make sure that there's a good gap between them there. I'm even going to just open those out a little more there. Like that. So there's plenty of gap. I'm sure the cap will help hold those where they need to be, but that's where I am. So that's tightened up. I'm being told by the missus that she's going to bed. There we go. I just told her it'd be 15 minutes tops, and that's what I'm sticking to. So then the thermistor cable goes between them like that. And it says wrap the thermistor cables around the heat bed cables a few times. So basically what they want you to do is that. And then I reckon we'll probably put the sleeve over the top. So that's that like that. So that's just keeping it. Something trying to stick to the magnet. Sorry. Okay, so we need the lock nut into the top of there. So place it that way up. Ah. Ah. See what I mean about getting tired and making mistakes? There we go, that's that pushed in. So this piece is going to go that way up over the top of those, making sure that we don't get the thermistor wire in the way of the screw through. Like so. And then this piece will go on the top. Like that. It actually slots in. Does it actually slot in? Yeah, it certainly does. Just need to move that Up to one side. And then just need to get myself into a better position. Like so. And then that feeds, he says, except it doesn't. Just making sure I've got this the right way up. I have got this the right way up. But I'm just having trouble getting those pesky ferrules to sit right. Sure, ferrules isn't the right word, is it? But I knew what I meant. Just got to try and... That is not going to fit in there very easily. It's got to be said. The design of that they come up like that, that actual hole isn't central. That's off center. I mean, I can see what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to sit like that. But it isn't that easy when you're actually trying to do it. It doesn't want to play ball. We're nearly there. I think I've actually got it upside down. I'm not paying attention. Come out, come out. There we go. You know how much easier it's going to be doing it this way now. It's going to fall in, isn't it? Oh, look, it falls in. This is what I say about concentration. So there we go. That's on like that. So now we just need to put the nut in. What size do they want? Maybe 12. Put it in loosely. And then put the cable management on. So we'll just have that like that. Let's feed the cable management. Again, this melted end of the cable management. Annoying! Turn that around. Get that piece started. Come on, you swine. Cable management, the bane of my life. Is anybody still here? Have you all given up? You've fallen asleep? No, are they actually going to want that inside there? They are, aren't they? Yeah. Yeah. There we go. You still lined up? Yes. Marvelouso. Doesn't want to go home now. Why don't you want to go in? I'm really sorry this isn't very exciting for you guys. I must apologise. We're in. Okay. Cable management. How far off the end are we? We are not going to mount it tonight. We're going to get this cable in and we're going to call it, because I said I would finish in 15 minutes and I'm about at that now. It looks like I might have some work to do. Right, do you know what, guys? I'm going to leave this here because I am faffing and I am making unnecessary possible errors. So we're going to leave it. We will finish this off tomorrow. We should get this done. We should get this up. We should get this printing. But I've gone beyond where I want to be at this moment. I'm getting overly tired. So I'm going to say thanks very much again, all of you, for coming. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate the fact that there's still 14 of you watching. I will finish off tomorrow and maybe even do my mystery package unboxing if I trust my dear sister, but we'll have to see. Like I say, Massive thanks for everybody that's watched. And we'll see you same time, 7 o'clock tomorrow night UK time, and we'll get this thing finished. All right. Cheers, guys. Take care. See you later.